Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. This is not a dream. I'm actually doing a gameplay video here on my YouTube channel. It is the debut of Flake Griffin on the Detroit Pistons. I'm going against the Brooklyn Nets, just doing a play now game against some bitch ass out here. And I'm gonna say straight up, guys, before I get into like the meat of this video, if you are somebody that pauses the game after every single time somebody does something, you are worse than 1,000 Hitlers, guys. Yes, 1000 freaking bitch ass Hitlers, guys. I'm just gonna say that real quick. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoy this gameplay right here, me dominating with Flake Griffin against this dude, you know, throwing him down and getting some layups, some post moves out there. I want to talk a little bit more about my thoughts on this trade, as you know, a lot of people out there watched my video the other day, my reaction about this, and I just sound like a giddy little kid out there that's like, oh my god, Flake Griffin. And trust me, I still feel like that. But I see a lot of people out there with some criticisms of this team, and some of them are warranted. I will definitely agree with that out there. But here's one that makes absolutely piss poor sense to me, my friends, and that is people saying that the Detroit Pistons are a poor man's New Orleans Pelicans. No doubt, man, because you gotta think about it like this. Boogie and Anthony Davis are the best big guys, the best center and power forward in the NBA. So any team out there that has a good power forward and center are going to be a worse version when it comes to the front court of the Pelicans, because you can't get better than the best. Because if Flake Griffin and Drummond were the best, then people would say, well, the Pelicans are just a poor man's Pistons. So I really don't get that argument at all. There's a few other arguments about this team having no guards, and I mean, Langston Galloway has been pretty solid for the Pistons this season. He's been shooting it pretty nicely out there. But one player, man, I will say I did roast this dude when he was drafted. I did not really believe in him because of the Kyle Singler Duke days. But that is Luke Kennard. And Luke Kennard, actually, guys, you know, when he does play, he's shooting a solid 43% from 3 this season. A guy that can definitely space the floor. He even is averaging a nice, like, 3 assists out there, grabbing about 5 rebounds. I believe he's like 6'6" or something like that, so he's got some pretty nice height. Not the quickest player out there, but definitely somebody that I think will be pretty solid, you know, on this team going forward. The small forward position, that's still, you know, a position to be desired out there. Not really any solid prospects as far as the Pistons go for that. I mean, Stanley Johnson, it's like, if he could really, like, knock down that 3 ball, even at, like, a 35-36% rate with his defense, I mean, he would actually be the perfect, you know, small forward for this team out there. It's just like he's not very consistent offensively. His defense, I will say, is nice, guys. His defense is nice. Reggie Jackson, it's like, you know, that's kind of the sucky thing about this, is that, you know, Drummond and Flake Griffin have a lot of money eaten up between those two guys. And then really the other big contract is coming from Reggie Jackson, who's not really healthy all that often. And I think that's really the floor of this team, is that they could really suffer from mediocrity due to, you know, Flake Griffin having his injury issues, Reggie Jackson, you know, guys like that. So I don't really know, man. And also not having draft picks, I mean, that definitely hurts the team too. But at the same time, Stan Van Gundy is so bad at developing NBA rookies that it does not even bother me one bit that we don't get that, because people say, man, Crispy, imagine if your team had Donovan Mitchell as shooting guard. Well, guess what, man? If we had Donovan Mitchell, he'd be sitting in the G League right now, because that's what Stan Van Gundy does to his rookies. I mean, Henry Ellenson was supposed to be a nice, you know, ooh, look at that freaking take, man. Count that baby in a foul. Langston Galloway. I love that man, guys. He's also not that expensive, like $7 million a season, so he'll probably end up being the starting shooting guard at first, I would say. Maybe Luke Kennard takes it over eventually. But yeah, so I do like the idea of the game between Flake Griffin and Andre Drummond, just because, like, Drummond's come a long way this season as a passing big man himself, and Flake Griffin's always been a solid passer. I mean, he can have games out there where he can drop 10 assists, like it's definitely happened before. But this definitely was a trade to bring fans to the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. As a lot of you guys know, the Pistons played a long time at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and somebody that lives in Michigan, I will say, like, especially during the weekday games, the Little Caesars Arena is very empty, guys. It's very empty, and the reason that is because, for one, you know, when you had to drive to Auburn Hills in Michigan, that was just right off I-75. Like, it was really easy to get there. The drive home wasn't bad. But now that the Pistons play, like, in the heart of Detroit, for a lot of people working and stuff, it's like they don't really see a huge reason to come out there right now, as Flake Griffin splashes that 3 real quick. So yeah, man, that's definitely I definitely think a guy like Flake Griffin will sell tickets. I mean, he's gonna throw down crazy dunks every now and then. He is 29 at this point, so it's like I am a little nervous about his athleticism starting to take a dip. I do hope, you know, just you see him make another 3 right there. I'm hoping he can get that 3 ball to around 38%. That would be very nice. You know, I think he'll have some pretty wide open attempts out there, like Tobias Harris did in the past. And I will say though, man, I miss Tobias Harris greatly. Like, I would have absolutely loved this trade so much if there was any way that we could have kept Tobias Harris. Because if we would have Tobias at the 3, Flake Griffin at the 4, and Andre Drummond at the 5, that's one of the top front courts in the league, man. Like, just because of the consistency of the small forward position. So I am definitely a little nervous, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited. You know, it's interesting to see this whole trade go down. This dude got step freaking pause in that game, man. But I definitely am nervous to an extent because do I feel like this Pistons team as constructed right now could really make any true noise in the Eastern Conference? You know, I can see them getting to the first round of the playoffs, winning a few games there, you know, potentially getting to the second round. I think there's that type of talent maybe to get to the second round and then probably get eliminated right there. They're definitely not built to be an Eastern Conference team yet. And like I was saying earlier, man, the cap space situation is going to be interesting because they don't really have a ton to work with. So hopefully they can get some guys, you know, some veterans out there that will sign for some minimum contracts, which you probably won't see that though, because, you know, if you got veterans out there that want to ring chase, chances are they don't want to go to the Pistons to do it. They're going to sign with the guys like, you know, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Golden State Warriors, Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors of the world. So that's definitely something to think about too. So yeah, man, I don't know. I think this team really needs to invest in the scouting in the G League, because that's where you can make some noise. That's where you can kind of find some diamonds in the rough, is you can sign those guys for pretty cheap out there, because of course they're trying to get their spot in the NBA. A lot of them are motivated to play in the NBA too. So that's something to think about. But yeah, man, just wanted to give you guys some not so hyped up thoughts about this team, just due to my last video, which I was so excited about, man. I will say, I've not felt like, when it comes to like basketball, I've not felt that excited in a long time. Like, I felt so happy, man. I really did feel happy about that. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts about this trade in the comment section below. Like, if your argument is the poor man's Pelicans, I really want you to elaborate on that, just because it doesn't make much sense to me. But yes, my friends, hope you all enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun doing a play now. You know, I play this every now and then, like, by myself when I just feel like playing some 2K. Although I use the all-time Lakers all the time because that team's unstoppable. Magic Johnson at power forward, guys, is the way to go. But yeah, if you guys want some more gameplay type of videos from me, all you gotta do is drop a like on the video, my friends, so I know you enjoy this type of content. Thank you all so much for watching. 32 big points from Flake Griffin.